ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਦਿਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਆਫ ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਕਰਾਵਾਂਗੇ ਬ੍ਰੈਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਨਾਲ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਹਿਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਣਗੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੁਸਾਇਟੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕੋਸ਼ਿਸ਼ ਕਰ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸਾਡਾ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਨੂੰ ਰਿਵਾਈਵ ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ। ਸ਼ਨ ਯਨ ਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਆਰਟਸ ਕੰਪਨੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਏਂਸ਼ੀਅੰਟ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਸਿਵਲਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਦੱਸਦੀ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ ਅੱਜ ਬ੍ਰੈਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਸ ਤੋਂ। Welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
So a little bit about yourself. You representing, reviving 5,000 years of civilization society. What is this?
Yes. It's a Vancouver-based society. The 5,000 years of civilization refers to China's civilization.
Okay.
So it's people who are passionate about bringing back a culture that was almost lost. And I don't know if you and your viewers know about how it was almost lost by the Communist Party in China. So it's actually very surprisingly difficult to not only find it, but to actually express authentic Chinese culture.
Okay. So how does this society help? What kind of work is being done?
Well, it really focuses, the major thing in the year is Shen Yun performing arts.
Okay.
So there's a lot of promotion that goes on, a lot of logistics, helping people to understand the deeper significance and the artistic significance of such a show.
Okay.
So that's one of the main things that we focus on.
Wonderful.
Which does take place year round.
Great, that's great. You know, every civilization has a lot to contribute to the society, you know, and there's a lot of work which has been, and when we talk about Chinese civilization, it's quite strong, you know. Tell us a little bit about that for our viewers, because mostly our viewers are South Asians. So what kind of culture, when we talk about the 5,000 years old history, what kind of culture used to exist, and Shen Yun performing arts, how is it depicted in that?
Oh, great question. Well, one of the most significant and well-known dynasties, what's considered the Renaissance, the height of Chinese classical culture, is the Tang Dynasty.
Right.
So that was a beautiful period where you had the Yellow Emperor, and you had ladies in the gorgeous attire that you see on Shen Yun's stage. Other dynasties that are depicted in Shen Yun that I've only ever seen hardly in Shen Yun. You know, you have to really dig deep to see things from the Ming Dynasty, the Tang Dynasty, the Song Dynasty. But what's beautiful about Shen Yun is that those cultures, those dynasties really come alive on stage. So you actually people feel not only transported to China, but transported throughout time.
Right. So that old culture is depicted through dances, through performances?
Yes, exactly. So all at once you see dancers on stage, beautiful handmade costumes, meticulously researched, and gorgeous colors, use of colors.
Right.
An animated backdrop behind them that is breathtaking. Even Los Angeles, you know, top Hollywood people have called it just absolutely breathtaking.
Right.
And at the same time, you have a live orchestra.
Right.
So all these things together just wash over you and just totally transport you.
So, Brett, in this fast-paced life, you know, like everybody has a different perspective. Of course, arts, culture has its own prominence. But with the change times, you know, what we are finding, especially among the youngsters, what do you think? How can that old civilization concept kind of bring on those values which the society today is lacking to a lot of extent?
Well, I have a son who I first brought when he was 8 years old. Now he's 18, and he has gone for almost every year.
Right.
When he was young, he was jumping up in his seat. He could hardly contain himself. The visuals and the stories, they're always kind of light and funny.
Right.
And it's wonderful for young children. And at the same time, they're teaching things like compassion, forgiveness, what to do when you're bullied, different ways to respond that are very healthy and definitely are rooted in these beautiful ancient cultures like India and China.
Right. So are these, there's a commentary in English also of what is being performed over there?
Yeah, so Shen Yun is a series of about 20 short numbers.
Okay.
And in between the numbers, two MCs come out, like two
Right.
hosts. And so that's really important because they talk about what you're going to see in the next number, what you saw in the previous number,
Okay.
in a very charming way, very, very light and funny. And so, yeah, people feel very comfortable while learning something new.
So Shen Yun Performing Arts goes all over the world every year and they perform. So tell us a little bit about that, when are they coming to Vancouver this time, and before that, where all they are going in Canada, are they going anywhere else also?
Yes, yeah. They'll be here very soon, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday.
Okay.
January 29th, 30th, and 31st at the Queen Elizabeth Theatre. In Vancouver, we're really, really lucky to have them right around Chinese New Year, so
Right.
it's a big celebration. Other cities in Canada, they go everywhere from Toronto area, and a few of those cities, they've gone to Calgary and Edmonton in the past. I know Seattle, Portland, places like that.
Right.
They have 4 touring troops that go to 5 continents and over 100 cities every year.
Right.
So definitely the place to go to get more details is shenyun.com.
I've read the reviews, and all those reviews are commendable, where they talk about, how history is brought forward in this 2.5 hours or 3 hours, whatever the time of the length of the program is. But what has been your experience? How did you get involved with this, and what has been your experience?
Let's see, well, my background is with dance and culture.
Okay.
I went to UCLA to study dance and culture.
Right.
I studied it in Africa, in Alaska, and actually Shen Yun was the first time that I really opened my eyes to the Chinese culture, which is very amazing because that I hadn't opened my eyes to the Chinese culture earlier. It actually signified that it is difficult to really know Chinese culture
Right.
because it is so kind of kept under wraps in a way by the current regime, and it's very censored as well. So when I first saw Shen Yun, it was about 10 years ago, and immediately it touched my heart. The technique of the dancers blew me away as a dancer myself. I couldn't believe what they were doing. And even since then, they've improved their technique. I don't know how. It's incredible. And the messages, the spirituality, the messages of hope, of humor, and going through and looking at those legends throughout
Right.
time. So after I saw it, I just thought, wow, something else is going on here actually. When you look deeper into it, Shen Yun is at the tip of a renaissance of Chinese culture.
Right.
So Chinese people have just been allowed to leave China for the last 10 or 15 years.
Right.
They were not even allowed to leave then. So since they've begun immigrating outside China, they've revived their own arts and cultures
Right.
from that 5,000 years. They found artistic freedom. So that's why Shen Yun comes from New York and not from China.
Okay. Let's go for a short break, and we'll come back and learn a little bit more about Shen Yun, and also how culture can, bound us, because different cultures, especially in Canada, it's a multicultural society, but we don't know about each other and how dances, performances can unite us. We'll talk about this after this short
Sounds
break. Thank
great.
you. ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਬ੍ਰੈਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਸ਼ੈਨ ਯੂਨ ਪਰਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਆਰਟਸ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਹਰ ਸਾਲ ਆ ਕੇ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਕਲਚਰ ਨੂੰ ਡਿਪਿਕਟ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਰਫਾਰਮੈਂਸਿਸ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਡਾਂਸਿਸ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਅਤੇ ਜੋ ਏਨਸ਼ੀਅੰਟ ਕਲਚਰ ਹੈ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਮੁਲਕ ਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, ਤੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ 'ਤੇ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਕਲਚਰ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਹ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਰਿਚ ਕਲਚਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਲੇਕਿਨ ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਕਮਿਊਨਿਸਟ ਰੂਲ ਉੱਥੇ ਰਿਹਾ ਤਾਂ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦਬਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ। ਆਰਟਿਸਟਿਕ ਫਰੀडम ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਬ੍ਰੈਟ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਪਿਛਲੇ 10-15 ਸਾਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਾਹਰ ਆਉਣ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ। ਨਿਊਯਾਰਕ ਬੇਸਡ ਸ਼ੈਨ ਯੂਨ ਪਰਫਾਰਮਿੰਗ ਆਰਟਸ ਜੋ ਹੈ, ਇਸ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ, ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਨੇ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਣ ਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਸਿਖਾ ਸਕੇ। ਇਸ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਤੋਂ ਵਾਪਸ ਆ ਕੇ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਂਦੇ।
5,000 years of Chinese music and dance in one night. Incredible, groundbreaking, a cultural phenomenon. A must-see. Experience Shen Yun. For showtimes and tickets, visit shenyun.com.
Once again, welcome back to the program. Shen Yun Performing Arts ਇਹ ਜੋ ਇੱਕ ਮਿਊਜ਼ੀਕਲ ਐਕਸਟਰਾਵੈਗੈਂਜ਼ਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਇਹ ਹੋਣ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ 29 30 31 ਜਨਵਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਜੋ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਹੋਏਗਾ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਚਾਈਨੀਜ਼ ਕਲਚਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਨੂੰ ਅੱਗੇ ਲਿਆਂਦਾ ਜਾਏਗਾ। ਬ੍ਰੈਡ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਜ਼ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਦੱਸ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹ ਪੁਰਾਣਾ ਕਲਚਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੁਝ ਸਿਖਾ ਸਕਦਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਜਾਣਕਾਰੀ ਲੈਣੇ। So before the break, like you said, that artistic freedom in China was not seen much before, and especially even now also, the communist rule. Why do you feel that despite having such a rich culture, those values, what our culture can teach, especially to our youngsters today, why is it not being given importance and why it is being suppressed?
Well, yeah, in China, the ruling regime is communist, which is atheist and materialistic.
Right.
And so, in addition to being atheist and materialistic, it does not allow any thinking other than its own. So, any other religion, the Tibetans are under fire, the Uyghur Muslims, the Christians all over China as well. Falun Gong, since 1992, when it was introduced to the public, has been a major target of the Communist Party because it was very large, very popular. Up to 100 million people practiced it in parks every morning. It was very popular throughout society, wonderful for people's health. And originally, the Communist Party actually promoted it because of its health benefits.
Right.
But the major tenets of Falun Gong are truthfulness, compassion, tolerance. So it goes beyond just your physical health and really into your soul and your mental health and your value system. So the Shen Yun dancers, they actually live those principles in their everyday life.
Okay.
And so you can almost feel that coming out of that energy coming from the stage when you watch them.
Right.
So that's one of the wonderful things that touches your heart. But not the Communist Party. So Shen Yun has not been allowed to go to China. So even though it's a very authentic Chinese show, they're waiting for the day that they can perform in China.
Okay.
But even in places like Hong Kong and South Korea, the Communist Party will try to stop the show.
Right.
And even in places like Australia and Canada, they have sent letters to parliament members to tell them not to see the show, to try to stop the show. And partly this is due to some of the numbers, in addition to these ancient legends, are current modern stories of persecution and overcoming persecution through courage and hope.
So they want to suppress that information, the idea is to suppress that.
Yeah, yeah, they try to do that, and of course you can never really suppress the truth.
Right,
So.
okay. Now again, when we were talking about the culture, every culture has its own richness and that exclusiveness. This Falun Gong society, which promotes truthfulness and tolerance, what you talked about. So they are the ones who sponsor this, and it's a not-for-profit show which is held. And how about the resources and everything? How is it everything is done?
Yeah, it's the Falun Dafa Association that presents the show.
Right.
If people can expect it, it's not a Falun Gong show.
Right.
But just like if you go to an opera or a symphony, the great ones were very often constructed around Christianity, Christian symbols and messages. But people don't, feel the need to convert to Christianity once they see those things. So similar with Shen Yun. Wonderful, beautiful symbols even from Buddhist and Taoist inspiration. Falun Gong, truthfulness, compassion, tolerance, and just the beautiful stories can be like just a metaphor or a story that people can learn the deeper principles of universal values.
Wonderful. And towards the end, where if people want to buy the tickets, where can they go and get the tickets?
So you want to go to Shen Yun, ShenYun.com/Vancouver.
Right.
And that'll give you all the information you need.
Wonderful. It was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you for coming forward and letting us know about this ancient secret, where that culture and that happiness and tolerance and truthfulness is depicted through dance, through performances. Thank you and best wishes.
Thank you very much for having
Pleasure
me.
talking to you. Thank you. ब्रेड प्राइज ने दसिया कि शेन यून संस्था जो है इसका मुख्य मकसद यही है कि थ्रू आर्ट्स थ्रू परफॉर्मेंसेस ये जो पुराना कल्चर है उसनों अगे डिपिक्ट करे ਅਤੇ 29 30 31 ਜਨਵਰੀ ਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਕੇ ਪਰਫਾਰਮੈਂਸਿਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਲਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਹੈ shenyun.com/vancouver ਤੇ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਲਈ ਜਾ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਨਾਟ ਫॉर प्रॉफिट सोसाइटी है ਅਤੇ ਇਸ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਵਧੇ, ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਲਚਰ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋੜਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ, ਆਰਟਸ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਇਹ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾ ਸਕੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਰਲ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਲਿਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ।